lean in while we were in the middle of talking shit, but it won't be about anyone. There'll be no distinguishing features. But all I'm saying is we're adults. Right. We're catapulting towards death at this point. We bring vibrators to fuck guys. I'm assuming you do that. I do that.
You do?
I don't have time. I bring a vibrator. Listen, I got little ones. They're coming with me. I don't have time for you to fucking put Sade on.
Little vibrators?
Just like a smaller one, that's not like, I don't bring the fucking giant, what's the wand where you gotta hoist it over your back like you're running away from home.
Right.
You look like you're like a hobo. You tie a little sack on the back with your underwear.
Yeah. The Hitachi, right?
Look at me so deeply.
Because the Hitachi almost killed me.
It does kind of spark a little bit. It's not for your pussy. It's for your back.
It's for your back.
They have all of the directions too for it are like, don't put it near bodily fluids. Like they know what you're using for it and they're pissed.
Yeah, they're mad.
They're not happy about it. But I definitely, it does kind of like spark like
joy.
No, it sparks some joy, but it sparks like like an electrical current where I'm like, this has to be giving me pussy cancer.
Wait, I have to ask you, were you a drummer in high school? Did we talk about this? Why are you so
by the way,
by that? You're like,
wait,
you like this.
No, I was like a weird, like, we were just like stealing cars and stuff. We weren't, there wasn't
really?
like extracurricular activities.
You didn't do any extra.
I did when I was in middle school. I swam.
Yes.
I ran. And then I started getting headaches. And then I was just like a headachy kid.
Really?
Like,
from your gym coach, you're like, enough. All right.
I'm like, I have such a bad headache.
Shut up, Mr. Carlson.
I do remember there were these girls when we had to run the mile that cut through. We had to run the mile around. It was Cedarbrook Middle School. And we had to cut around like these houses. These girls lived in the middle of the house and they cut through. They came with Oreo crumbs. Like they obviously had stopped at our house and eaten Oreos. They cut through. They were like minutes under all of us. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. The coach yelling at them. Like I can see the crumbs on your face. I'll just never forget the balls of those bitches. Like they were just like, we won. Like they came in, they ran in, like they crossed the finish line 2 minutes before us with cookies on their face.
I think it's,
God bless them.
It is insane to ask someone to run a mile with no training.
It's hard.
You can't do that.
It's
hard. Can't just like get up and go.
I was like passing out and stuff. I was like, I don't know. You're supposed to eat and train and do a certain.
I ran, I think, a mile 2 nights ago at the Glendale Galleria.
Oh
I
God.
ran
at the mall.
At the mall. I was like, oh
Were
my
you
God,
shoplifting?
I was at Target.
Were they on to you? It was like beep, beep, beep.
It was 10 to 9. I was like, wait, where's my phone? And then I was like, oh my God, what if I left it at Bloomingdale's, which is across, you know how it's like this is like a very long mall. I ran in shoes I shouldn't have been running in. I got there as the gates were closing.
Did you dive under?
I was like, help! And the slowest guy in the world.
Ninja warrior.
I ninja'd it. The guy who helped me, it was like someone who would help you in a nightmare. He was like, how can I help? I was like, I lost my phone. I have 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. And then it was like everyone I approached was like molasses.
Did they understand that your phone was gone?
They didn't understand like the urgency of
it. Should be called like an Amber Alert. Like things, everyone else's phone should buzz when you lose your phone.
It's
like
so true.
Everyone in the store should be looking for your phone.
I agree. And I was like, I suddenly turned into like the worst version of myself. Cause I would like run up to a hair straightening kiosk and be like, can I use your phone? I need to call T-Mobile.
And they're like, no.
And I was just like crazy. You know, when you're just like, whoa, there's like an insane person who has no like self-awareness.
I like the idea that you have to do the things they want you to do too, though. Like you're like there and they're like, they have to do your straighten your hair in the middle of it. They're like, we will help you, but first sit down.
I love that.
My dad always ends up coming home with like some cream or something. He's a mall walker. He's an old man, you know, so he goes on mall walks. He's a mall walker. It's so fun to go on a mall walk with my dad.
I want to be like, I feel like it's
really fun. So he's a mall walker, but he's not like really doing it to walk. He goes so he can get samples from the food court. So we do laps around the food court and we see how many we can get with. He's like, this guy really doesn't like me. He always gives me the smallest piece. But my dad just loops around the food court and we always have all the toothpicks as evidence at the end. It's so cute.
I love that.
But anyway, so he always comes home with like a nail buffer or something. Like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, the people at the kiosk said it was like
a nail buffer.
It was from like the Dead Sea. I'm like, Dad, you got tricked. Like, never give anyone your social security number, please.
Right.
Like, I'm like, are you that age where you're that?
Right.
He's so funny. He called me about the he loves Daily Mail. I tried to screen grab him talking about it. I want to do a segment
Is
on
that
this podcast.
real? What kind of news is Daily Mail?
Well, he goes, they have such good science.
I know they have like a British
He goes, they have
font.
great science. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
So I want to have him on the podcast, like a segment where it's like science with my dad. And it's like science he learned from the Daily Mail, but he's so gossipy. So then he pretty much is Caddy Daddy. So he was calling me about, he was like, oh, Harry and what's her fucking name? The black chick. What's her name? Meghan Markle.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I said the black chick. She's more than that. She's an actress. She's also half white. I'm sorry. I just couldn't remember her name. I'm tired. I'm not at my 100% here. But he's like, and they left and the queen and all this stuff. I go, speaking of queens, Dad, this is the gayest conversation I've ever had. And he just was like crying, laughing. My dad's so funny.
I love that.
He's so
Wait,
funny.
Annie, do you remember when we found a jar of kombucha
why?
in the parking lot?
Why? Wasn't there a pickle jar?
There was some weird thing. We were like in a parking lot. It was blocking my car. There was like a giant jar full of like slime and it said SCOBY on it. Like someone was growing a SCOBY in a jar.
I don't know what a SCOBY is, but I will tell you, I have a hero complex. So like the fact that I had a moment to like reach down and grab a large thing of trash to save you.
It was like one of those things where you were angry for me.
Yeah,
and
who the fuck would put this pickle jar in front of me? I don't know what the fuck it was. I do remember that. When did we become friends?
What's crazy is I was thinking about this today. I remember meeting you backstage at West Side Comedy Theater.
Did you like
came
me?
in. I was like, oh my God. Like it was one of those things where I was like, oh, she has like a presence. Like you came in, you had this like husky voice. And I was like, this girl, like I was like, she's hot. She's got husk.
She's hot. She's topless.
She can give it, like dish it out to Dan Bilak.
Like, oh my God, I remember. Wait, 12 Shiny Nickels. Okay. There is a show called 12 Shiny Nickels. You drive to Santa Monica, which is about 12 hours. So you're driving 12 hours from your home to go do 5 minutes. You get there. You don't know when you're going up.
Right.
You could be there all night.
It was a long,
could be there.
Yeah.
And, but I think
so
I bullied him
though.
into like putting me up in good spots.
I think it's still going.
Really?
It's called
it's
12
the same
Rusty
show.
Pennies. It's just
it's never ended. The show never ended.
Bitter people each doing a minute of comedy.
If I drive to your fucking show.
In Santa Monica, I just like, I can't, I know.
You can't give me under 10 minutes.
You can't do that to us.
Sometimes it's fun to do a 7-minute set when you realize like.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, I have
Can
3
we
hours
snap these together for the duration of this? Like this? Like what if we did.
Where's yours from?
Like this? This belongs to Nikki.
Oh wait, no, she gave it to you because it's real, right?
She gave it to me. Yes, it's real.
Nikki, before she was a vegan.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh my God. Can we do this? I don't know. I have this weird dream of like being Siamese. Like I always want to wear like a turtleneck with two.
Can I just tell you, I dated a guy. Okay.
Knuckles.
I dated an unmentionable guy. We'll try this later.
Okay.
I dated an unmentionable guy, and he said 2 things to me that were heartbreaking.
That sounds like the name of a Netflix thing, like The Unmentionables.
The Unmentionables. Every guy I've ever fucked could not be mentioned. It's so embarrassing. You guys would be like, how do you not have herpes? Anyway, not yet. We're working on it. But so
my nail fell off.
He said 2 things. Okay.
I have like a grill on my hand right now because my whole fingernail came off. Okay. Well,
boys. Anyway, thanks for watching,
gentlemen.
guys. We want to talk about nails. So he said 2 things that were really upsetting. One was
wait, who is this? Sorry,
it's an unmentionable guy.
Oh, an unmentionable.
That you'll know is the last one. So he goes, he burps. No, he goes. He goes, we should have a kid together. I thought that was really mean to say to a woman in their late 30s, right? If you don't mean it. Put your sperm where your mouth is, bitch. Yeah, put your jizz in your mouth, bitch. Put your sperm where your fucking mouth is. Do you want to make a baby? Jizz in your mouth and swallow it. Once I was jerking my ex-boyfriend off before we were breaking. I knew I was going to break up with him. That's why it makes it extra bullying. This was like the rollerblader years ago. So I was jerking him off, and I was like, right as he was about to come, I just flipped his dick up. And it shot into his mouth. I got it. I was like, ding, 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 ding. I was always like, I should have gotten like a Tweety Bird prize.
Is that called like a double pike or something? It's like a rollerblading term for it. He's like, you did it. He's like, I'm going to tell everyone.
He was so upset, but I was like doing rounds. I was like going around the block high-fiving everyone. I was like, this is the greatest moment of my life.
Annie, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I got it. It got right in. It streamed it right into his mouth. I used to tell it on stage, and then it was like men were very upset with me. They're scared.
Right.
Don't you want to taste your own
nightmare.
seed?
Everyone, I'm sure they have.
What do you think about when a guy fingers you and then they put the fingers in your mouth?
Well, first of all, Mom, just kidding. My mom's no longer alive.
Mom, thanks for coming back from the dead to listen to me tell my finger tasting story.
Diane's here right now.
She's with us.
I mean, I feel like, Annie, you tell me how you feel about it. I'm so shy about that.
Well, okay,
I'm shy about talking about that stuff only because I am a Remember, I have kid fans. Okay,
she is a Nickelodeon celebrity.
I have some kids.
Kids from the movie Kids. Kids, you should watch Kids.
From the movie Kids.
Watch Kids. You're gonna love it. Those are the kids I have following me. They all have AIDS. They all have New York City AIDS, Brooklyn AIDS.
I feel like if I'm close with somebody, I feel like not anything goes, but I feel like.
Listen, I feel the same way where I'm like, I'm not forcing, I'm not like, like trying to grab the thing. But if you do it, but I will probably go like, oh, like that's the move.
You know what would be grosser to me than that is watching someone do that with food. I hate when people go like this. Anytime someone's like, ooh, and have you ever seen someone eat something and suck their full finger afterward? I'm like, what is the
Do you know what my dad used to do? I'm sorry to segue into my dad from this fingering story, but
please.
My dad would he'd be like, can I have some of your ice cream? Or he wouldn't ask, but he kind of bought it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But he would take the ice cream and he would eat it, but he wouldn't eat the whole spoonful. So it would he would lip it. And then there would be like a layer of just like his
of like soft saliva. Yeah. It's like a ski slope of saliva.
Just like finish it, bitch.
Soft
finish
mound.
it off, bitch.
You've got to finish it.
You have to. I just got back from Miami. Have you been to Miami before?
I lived in West Palm Beach.
Oh my God.
I did children's theater there, Annie. I was in a play called Too Smart to Smoke.
It should be called.
And I smoked at the time.
It should be called Dose Smart, Dose Smoke, because nobody speaks fucking English. You know what I mean? You do get it.
Can I tell you more about the play I was in just briefly?
Yeah.
It was called Too Smart to Smoke. You're gonna just because you're gonna love this.
I already did.
It was the Three Little Pigs. I played a wolf, but my costume was just a jean jacket with a tail on it, and the whole premise was like, I can't blow these houses down because I'm a smoker. And the kids were into it. I'm telling you, they
all smoke. By the way, all of them are vaping now. How old do you think
they're all vaping? Yeah, they're adults.
They're all in grad school.
They're all. Did you vape ever?
I never. Well, no. I had like a month where I vaped. A month where I vaped. Liev Schreiber came into town. It was before we were dating. It was like years and years before that when we were just friends. And he's such a psycho vapor, or he was. I don't know if he is now, but he So we went to the vape store and we were like, I don't know. We had a fun day at the vape store. So I was like, all right. So then I had these flavored vapes, but then I was like, why am I, there's no reason to do this.
It was so fun in the beginning. I'm like, it was so fun.
It was just like, flavored air.
I did it to quit smoking cigarettes. You know the ones that look like a cigarette?
Yeah.
I had that and then one day it started to leak I was like, oh my God. It burned my face. I almost became Joker. What if that is the why I look at? What if I was
what if it was just your pussy juice from them?
Someone went like this to me.
That's what was dripping down. I smoked cigarettes on and off. I started smoking when I was 13 or 14. It was the coolest. It was so cool. Vaping must be awesome because it's you don't smell. You don't know. There's no evidence. The fact that I had to scrub my hands, spray my hair. I was always
know.
How do your parents not know?
Always.
Just smell.
I lied about it constantly.
You'd always be like, someone else
my mom smoked. So I could be like, it's my mom. That's why my sweater smelled. I would come back from my lunch break just like a cloud of smoke.
It's so crazy to have a smoking parent. Do your parents smoke?
My dad does.
Well, is he allowed? Do you bring him?
Let's call him right now.
No, but we can't. He'll have to call us collect when he's on a break.
Let's get him to quit. He'll have to call us from prison. Can I tell you, one time I was president of student council, my teacher
Your hands are so soft.
My teacher not only saw me smoking at a pizza place, but I was doing a character and I was like, this?
How come every one of your characters is like that?
I know. It was in high school and I was pretending to be some woman named Yvonne Russell. And I was at a pizza place And then killing for my
destroying.
friends. And then someone was like, oh my God, Mr. Hanky just walked by. And I was like, oh my God.
I cannot accept that his name is Mr. Hanky. That literally sounds like a fucking sock my brother jerked off into or something.
No.
Mr. Hanky. That's like a name. That's so terrible.
Really? I like it. It's German.
I'm sorry. I went there. She goes there.
Annie. Okay,
so Mr. Hanky walks by.
Okay, so he walks by, and I was like, everyone's like, oh my God, that was Mr. Hanky. And I was like,
was he hot?
Are you? No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Like, if
no
he's
sexual
watching this, yes. What if he
Oh my
was
God, that's so
watching?
funny. I just want all my teachers to think I was
I
sexually
just want
attracted
all
to
my
them.
teachers to know I had
Like,
a thing
you had
for
a chance.
the whole time.
You had a fucking shot, okay? You lost.
But he, the next day at school, was like, just to let you know, he was like, I saw you smoking at Marcello's. He was like, and you're president of student council, and that could change. And I go, it wasn't me. And he was like, what? I flat out was just like, lie. I go, that wasn't me. I go, I was at my grandma, I was at my grandma's cabin this weekend. And then I was just like, yeah, there's no way you can prove that.
That was
You know, it
Lorelai.
just
What
like,
did you
no.
say her name was?
Who?
What's the name of the character?
Yvonne Russell.
You're like, that wasn't me. That was Yvonne Russell.
That was Yvonne. I don't even know who she was.
You then
I
have to
just
like
remembered Yvonne,
imagine there
a
was like
double
social
chin.
media and you had to like create a whole new account, like a fake identity
For
of
Yvonne.
I got caught. I went to a juvenile delinquent school and it was right by this park, like this really beautiful, these woods and there are all these hiking trails. And all these rich people lived around there. So we stopped before school. This girl would pick me up. It was John Farley for a while, who we called Spuds because he looked like a potato. But he would pick me up, and I talked about this one. He picked me up in an insane clown. He would be blasting Insane Clown Posse and driving a Jeep with giant
I can't handle it.
giant tires
I
and
know. I know
but
this
so
type
like
exactly.
but so loud. Like his speakers were like his life. Like he was always getting new speakers. He was so fat. It's like go to the gym.
No,
but
Annie.
gotta work out,
Okay,
put headphones
yes.
in, and get on a treadmill. But who knows where he is now. But then this girl, Shira, picked me up too. And so Shira picked me up. She was babysat by the Boys to Men, by two members of Boys to Men. I don't know why both of
Really?
them were babysat. It must have been one. But yeah, because we're from Philly.
And that's how they became men.
And she turned them from boy to man by fucking. But anyway, she drove me to school one day, and she didn't want to smoke weed in her mom's car. She had her mom's car, so we stopped and we smoked weed in the park. And then we get into school, and they're like, the neighbors called and said you were smoking marijuana. So at some point we somehow like met up before the meeting. I'm high as fucking shit at this point. I'm eating like Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos. It's like 9 a.m. Like I'm drinking Gatorade. So we each go to the office and we just go, we actually were smoking cigarettes and we knew we were late to school and we knew the smoking court was closed and we didn't want to smoke on campus when we weren't allowed to. And they were like, thank you so much, bravo students. Like awarded a medal. It was just like, it was so funny how
That's
easy it was to
amazing.
manipulate these
Right.
fucking.
I know. I love that you had a guy named Spuds.
We call them Spuds.
When you said that, there was a guy where my mom was like, who was that? My mom was like disgusted by someone's appearance. I was like, Mom, that's Two-Tone. And she was like, you have a friend named Two-Tone? Two-Tone, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Ricky.
Pizza Face.
Two-Tone.
Pizza Face from high school. I'm so sorry we called you Pizza Face.
Oh my God. Did you really call someone that? It's kind of
Listen,
hacky.
I didn't know.
Actually.
I didn't know her name. Like I used to try to do a joke about it because I couldn't remember her name because everyone called her Pizza Face.
Right.
I don't know if it was to her face. They called to her Pizza Face. They called her Pizza Face, but I mean, it's so
But you're
mean.
still sticking to it.
It's so mean. I mean, I wear leather jackets. I'm a bully. I identify as a bully. I'm sorry. No, but
You are. I wonder. Yeah.
What?
I would have. Yeah. I
No,
had a
say
lot
it.
of. I had a lot of bully friends.
we would have been friends.
Yeah.
You would have gone
would've been.
along.
We
You'd be
would
like,
have
Annie,
been. I would have
don't,
been like,
but you
Annie,
would've-
I can't do it. I can't.
But I wasn't
All my
like
friends
the
eventually
leader.
got me to. I was a huffer too. I huffed Scotch guard. This was crazy. This is a phase. My friends were like, yeah, just spray it on a sock. We would take Scotch Guard, spray it on a sock, and then go. And I would walk around going, I said the same thing every time. I go, I can't even see it but red. I can't even see it but red. I can't even see it but red. And then I'd be like, everything's rewinding. Everything's rewinding. It just got in my brain. But this was like while I was also like a good kid. Like I was like,
that's how I felt too.
I felt like I had like a double life
Yeah.
or something like that.
Well, I wasn't like my parents. I was always afraid of getting in trouble with my parents, but I
I'm
still was in
sorry.
fights with
Don't
my parents.
huff. I feel
Listen,
like everything
wait,
needs a
you-
message. I'm such a
No.
but it was. I
Josh
didn't know
Adam
how bad
Myers
it
was on here being like, just try opiates. I'm like, Josh, stop.
I didn't know how bad it was for you. Like when I did it.
We used
And
to
I was
smoke
like,
wet.
oh, this isn't that bad. Like, it's a household product. How could it be bad for you? Why would they let you keep this in your house if it was bad?
If you can huff.
It was one summer.
That's so funny. To say that you're a huffer is the funniest thing
I
I've ever
can't
heard in my
believe
life.
it.
It's way
I'm
cooler
still
than a
just
cutter.
like, well,
You're both.
I've done a little.
Well, when you're huffing, how are you
everything.
not going to cut? It's
Yeah,
like
you've got to
goes together.
shed. You've got to shed.
I'm a huffer. I'm a cutter. I'm
It's-
a lover. I'm a mother.
Right.
I'm a sinner. I'm a saint.
Here's the thing. I feel like when people are like, oh, do you believe in past lives or whatever? I feel like we all live so many lives in
I
one
can't
lifetime.
believe the shit I've done.
That was a summer that I was with people who were doing it and I did it. And I kind of like, I don't really regret it because now
What if you
everything
just
I hear
forgot-
is rewinding.
What if you just like forgot what you were saying because you have no brain cells left?
Well, I don't know. Like it
You're
could've-
fine.
it
Your brain
could've.
bounces back. The brain is good.
Well, I've had other brain stuff. Just kidding.
Why are you gazing at my
But-
lips like that?
Wait,
you
am
got so
I?
Leslie.
Wait, am
yeah,
I?
you did.
No, I just. Oh my god, Annie, I've had other brain stuff.
I was like, tell me about your brain. Her ball sack is what she meant. It does look like a little
So-
brain.
Okay, wait. Who
What
were
were-
your friends in juvenile school?
There
was
I was friends with this
Spuds?
girl. Well, Spuds would drive me to school. I was friends with this girl, Liz, who ended up getting sent to the Batter Kid school where they kidnap you in the middle of the night and they take you to this like outward bound type program, and then you're in like intense therapy. She was really bad. Like her dad was a brain surgeon and he bought her like a brand new Mazda Miata, which was very cool back then. Like now it's like a
Right.
Mazda Miata. I mean, it was like she had a sports car and she like didn't like the color, so we got her a whole new one. Like she was so spoiled, so angry. She was selling coke. She didn't need to.
Right.
She was just like, she would tell me, she was like, oh, I had a dream my mom died and I woke up crying because I realized it was just a dream. Like something. I'm like, we're kidding. When we're like, how many times are we gonna watch? What was the Heavenly Creatures? Like, I'm like, how many times are we gonna watch Heavenly Creatures? The movie about killing your parents. Like, I always had one of those girlfriends that like, let's watch this. And I'm like, guys, I don't want to kill my parents.
Right.
I would never want to Menendez brothers my parents. I love my parents. I find them to be irritating, but I love them.
Right.
Like I would fight with, I always was like obsessed with my parents.
Yes.
Pedestal love my parents. But like, fuck. So anyway, so she got kidnapped in the middle of the night, taken to the school, and she was like punk rock, had like pink, green hair, like she was so hot. All the guys liked her. And then she came back for the graduation of her boyfriend at the time that she had that she left. So it was like 2 years later. She just shows up completely like clean cut, like changed, like wearing all like bebe and like, or BB, whatever it's called. Her hair was all brown, like a little bob. She looked like a little Russian wife. And I was like, oh my God, is that you, Liz? And she was like, yeah. And I could see her getting like excited that like nobody recognized her.
Right.
And then she was like, I got better. I'm better now. And I was like, you fucking liar. Like she just was manipulating. I could see it. And she was like, come hang out with me and my friends at the pool hall later. I was like, okay. So I go to like Northeast Philly and we hang out at this pool hall. And these guys she's hanging out with like Russian, like scary Russian dudes, like wearing like fucking turtlenecks with like the like a chain over it, like the gold like
Wait, I think that's kind of cute.
it was scary. It was like
I feel like that's cute.
you would have been scared. I mean, cute now, I guess. Like
A
I kind of
turtleneck
keep
with a
thinking of-
necklace over
I
it? That
keep
sounds
thinking
very
of the rock.
sweet.
I keep thinking of the rock. It was a locket with a picture of your face in it, Lizzie. It was so weird. You and whatever the character's name is.
Yvonne Russell.
Yvonne Russell. But so anyway, so
Yeah.
she ends up like, these guys are like crazy. She's like, I'm learning Russian, so they think I'm Russian. Like it was so weird. They were just dangerous.
God.
I just was
Right.
like, Spidey sense was not cool.
Right.
So I didn't talk to her. I couldn't find her. I didn't know where she was for years. I would always look for her online. And then I found a picture of her and it was a mugshot. And she was like, had been on the run for 7 years because she got caught selling drugs over MySpace. They called her a drug queen pin. But honestly, I think she was just selling weed.
drugs over MySpace?
Yeah, that's how long ago it was. She got caught. Like it was not a smart operation. Then I kept reading and they found her. She had been shot in the head. She got assassinated.
I love how you smile as you say this. You're like, and then I found out she
I'm
was
getting to the
assassinated.
climax. No, I just told the story a lot, but it is so
Where?
sad.
Really?
In Montreal, she was like, had all these aliases. She had all these fake.
Oh my God.
So that was the beginning of her career. was like her fooling all of us.
I
at
feel like
school.
juvenile school is where like the interesting.
Yeah, the good stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's weird because she was. You never know if, because I think I got way worse because they sent me there. I'm like, don't send me to a just send me to a regular school and I'll just be like kind of bad there. Don't send me to like where I'm the good kid going into the juvenile delinquent school and then I come out like with like teardrop tattoos. Like they're lucky I don't have teardrop tattoos.
So funny.
My parents are lucky I don't have a face tat. I have no tattoos. Do you have tattoos?
No, I just never was like, there was nothing I almost got one this summer.
Wait, can I guess what it was? Tasmanian devil spinning the globe.
Oh my God.
Sometimes the
so
world spins
close,
out of control.
Annie.
What is it?
It says that.
But in Old English, sometimes the world spins out of control.
It says Daily Mail in Old English.
My dad's like, I love that.
I was like, okay, I almost got a bell, like an outline of a bell, because I had a spiritual experience with bells in Ojai. And then we were standing in line and I was like, I think I'm going to get a bell. And someone said, why? And I told them that. And I was like, yeah, that's why I can't get it. It's because anytime someone asks me, I'm going to have
disgusting.
to go, I had a spiritual experience with bells in Ojai. And that phrase is like something I just need to keep to myself.
To the grave, you take it to the grave.
Right, I take it to the grave.
To the grave. And a grave now in a Jewish, and now it can be in a Jewish grave.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a tattoo.
Oh my God, I need a mezuzah though. I just moved and I'm like, I really want that mezuzah. Do you have one?
I'm not Jewish.
But you're part Jewish.
I know,
and I
but
wish you would
not the
embrace it a
good
little
kind.
bit more.
Well, I wish I'd gone on birthright. I wish I'd gone on the birthright.
I didn't even know about
Listen,
it.
for my Gentile folks out here, birthright is like, they want what they want. Okay, the Jews, the Israeli Jews, they want you to come to Israel and they want
and they want you to go.
They want you to go into the hummus, go like this, and then they want you to get impregnated. They want to recruit you pretty much to live there again. So they have a thing where they pay for you. You get a free trip. It's called your birthright trip to Israel. And my friends always had the best time. They had the fucking best time.
I know. That's where you lose your virginity. A lot of people do.
Yes. And sometimes I have like friends from middle school and high school who moved there and never like they went on their birthright, they came back, and then they immediately moved there.
Everyone I knew was like, I fell in love with an Israeli soldier.
Yeah, of course.
Like everyone.
They were riding camels and shit.
You become an adult. Yeah.
My friend said it was like making her horny to ride the camel. She was like, it was hitting my clit. I had this friend who I'm no longer friends with, but she had such good stories about birthright. She met a guy on birthright and then they dated long distance. He lived like in another state and they dated long distance and she would like do his homework, his poetry homework for him and stuff. And like, he was just kind of like a whatever dude.
Doing poetry homework seems like that would be very challenging.
Also, it just feels like...
Because it has to be in your voice.
Well, I guess she just always wrote it for him, so it wasn't his voice. I once had a girl write a paper for me.
Another poem about your womanhood?
I had a girl write a poem or write a paper for me my freshman year of college, and it was supposed to be about security, so it could be anything. She told me she was supposed to go to Harvard. She was a pathological liar, but I didn't realize it. This girl from Boston did this thick Boston accent, this bleach blonde hair, and she was like, I'll write your paper for you. She goes, I was a straight A student. I'm blah, blah, blah. Like she was saying all this stuff. So I was like, okay. So she writes this paper for me. I just hand it in blindly. I don't read it. My teacher calls me after class. She goes, not only does this prove that you were not taught to write a paper and you were not taught anything in high school, but it's dangerous, your views. And I was like, what does it say? And years later, I had to stick by it, but years later I admitted to the teacher and she goes, I fucking knew you didn't write that. Cause it was like all about like, it was right when 9/11, I was a freshman in college when 9/11 happened. And it was right after that. So she was like, she wrote a thing about, we need to give up all the information to the government. Like she wrote a whole thing about Big Brother, like, is our friend. We need to give them all our information so the terrorists can't kill us. Like my teacher was like, this is so frightening. I just didn't read it. I never did it again because I was like,
I can't handle that.
It was so good. But
That's
anyway,
amazing.
So I can't remember the story.
That's so funny. I took a paragraph of my sister's paper once. This was like the closest I came to that. And I remember the end was, in conclusion, A Midsummer Night's Dream is like a well-made sweater, tightly knit.
Oh God.
And my teacher was like, "What is this?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, I thought that was so good." Like, because I was like, "Oh, I think my sister had it," and I was like, "That line is so good." And my teacher was like, "That line is garbage." It was like the rest of the paper, the part I wrote was good.
That was important.
But then I just was like, "Oh, just a drop of."
Well,
a hint of.
My mom wrote my papers for me from 5th grade to my last 4 in college.
No,
yes.
why?
We love mommy. We're not mad at mommy anymore.
We need to talk to her about that.
No, it's codependency.
She writes your jokes.
I wish.
She's like, Annie, I thought it was
if she could write my
joke.
jokes, I would love to have people write my jokes. I always think about it. It never works. It's like that line that your sister wrote.
Yes,
it's like
people know.
when people try to
you
write
can see.
and not even know, it's like it just didn't come from me. So it's like people can give me tags and stuff like that and they can help me. Like, but it's like it's never happened. You know who fucking oh God, what's his name? Oh, what is his name? He lives in New York. He used to live out here.
Giuliani?
It's Rudy Giuliani. I know his daughter. I met his daughter.
Really?
She weirdly looks like a hot, kind of gingery version of him.
Oh, interesting.
And she not to be rude and out her or whatever, but she's always like, I love anal sex. Like she's so funny. Like she's just so the opposite of what you think.
Wait, who is it? It's a comedian?
Well, she was dating an improviser. I don't think that she's a comedian.
But who are you talking about? Who is from New York? You were like, this
Tom
guy?
McCaffrey.
Yes.
Okay, Tom McCaffrey he's such a good joke writer that you would just say something and he would just write you a full joke. And then I would always be like I don't want to talk to Tom because I end up telling him something that's like a premise, and then he writes his joke to a direction that I wouldn't have gone, and then that's like in my head.
Right.
But I used to always try to do the jokes, and they never worked. I could never get them to work.
That's so
and
interesting.
they were great jokes, but it was like it just didn't come from my heart.
Right.
I couldn't sell it.
From your ice cold heart.
My sweet, cold, bitter heart.
I love that. Annie,
but what's Tom McCaffrey doing?
I think I just started following him on Instagram. He has some great photos up. He's doing
good.
a lot of this with people. I think that's
like
mainly
this,
what he's doing. He's just going like this.
There's a lot of this.
He's like,
it is weird when there were these people that were such good joke writers. And you're like, where do you end up?
Right.
Talent?
No, I know.
Talent?
It doesn't do anything.
You have to
really, truly doesn't. You have to be insane in a way. I think some part of you has to be like.
You have to be good in rooms too. I feel like honestly being good in meetings is more important in Hollywood at least than being good at jokes, which is so upsetting when you realize that.
Right.
Because
especially if you're like me and you sit down and go.
Well, I started in New York and then
what if I just frozen?
No, you're probably really good in meetings.
I become like a sweaty gumdrop.
Are you good in meetings?
Do you know who Zach Sherman is?
Yeah.
We talk about if you're in a room and you don't feel comfortable yet, you're like, interior day. I always feel like a sweaty gumdrop. That's anything. Or I feel like I'm sweating on the inside when it's not going well.
What? Okay, wait. I'm trying to think of times where I'm not comfortable. I have a thing where I feel it's a lack of boundaries, but I feel at home everywhere I go. Everywhere I walk, I'm like, I'm home.
Right.
Which is good for me and bad for everyone around me. But sometimes I feel very uncomfortable, and it's usually around if there's a celebrity or I don't know. Do you ever get a successful woman's in a room and you can just feel her not wanting you to be there?
That's so funny. She's like, I wish I didn't have to be here sitting around all these people.
I don't like this person.
You don't.
And then you're like, I don't. There's just it's something about there's always they're thinking a thing about me already, and I'm like, I can feel that judgment, and then I'm like, I don't know how to break out of that. I don't know how to win it. I'm always just and if they're more successful, I'm like, you win, you get the room,
right?
You can have the room, ma'am.
I think just set boundaries and have compassion. Guys, set boundaries and have compassion.
I just
Can
show
I say
my
the
pussy
sweaty gumdrop thing? I haven't felt in a long time, and I'm happy about that. I used to get sweaty gumdrops sometimes, and I'd be like.
You ever feel your mouth twitching when you're talking? That's the worst.
Oh,
when a physical twitch starts happening, it's how do I get through this?
that's the beginning of I was gonna say it was the beginning of some
stroke
horrible. No.
You're like, you have syphilis.
Trust me, it's
what?
not. No.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I've made 3 allusions to it so far, and you haven't got any of them. I keep going, I have had different brain stuff, and I go, Tachi almost killed
you. Are we allowed to?
I know. I think so, yeah. I mean, I did a one-woman show about it,
Okay, wait. Lizzy has a story to tell you.
This is insane. Okay, so I got Lyme disease in like 2014. I thought it was gone. I was super happy. I was writing on Nikki's show, whose leather jacket I'm wearing. And we had like a hiatus. I like went to Hawaii. I thought it was good. I came back. I walked around the reservoir. I was like, my life could not be any better right now. She had given us Hitachi magic wands like for Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever. I'm like, I include Hanukkah.
That's a really heavy present.
I get back from the reservoir. I'm like, I'm going to give this thing a spin.
Oh.
The room goes black. And then suddenly,
There's a lot of black
except a yellow
around her.
squiggly line.
Situation.
But I'm in bed by myself. Black, except a yellow squiggly line. And then the room gets really bright. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, that was a powerful orgasm.
You're like, everything's in rewind. Everything's in
Right.
rewind.
It felt like what it would look like. I didn't feel anything physically, but like if a bomb went off. Then I went into the bathroom and I like looked at my hand. And like when it was here, I could see it. When it was here, I couldn't see it. And I kept going like this. I was like, oh my God, like my hand was like disappearing. I got an MRI. They were like, you have to go to this like place in Santa Monica.
Are you driving?
It was all old
drive?
people. Yeah, I drove. It was all old people. And I was like, well, there's a lot of old people here. And he goes, yeah, that's because you had a stroke. And he put my MRI up on the wall. I love that Anthony's texting during my stroke
She
story.
literally
Just
almost
kidding.
fingered herself to death. And Anthony's fingering
texting.
his keys. He's fingering the fucking... No, Anthony's
He puts my MRI
asshole.
on the wall. There's like a pool of blood
No, wait,
in my occipital lobe, which is responsible. Well, here's the crazy thing is like, they still haven't like figured it out. It's like, it was so, and I was like, are you serious? And he was like, he's like, yeah, we need to figure out how this happened. And I was like, well, I'm like, I poured myself a glass of wine. I lit some candles. By the way, that is in my one-woman show. I don't want you to think if you don't still be amused by that line when you come see the one-woman show that I'll probably never do again. But and then I was just like, I had a stroke. And I remember being like, okay, well, like then my vision started to like normalize. And what's crazy is I said to the neurologist, I said, kind of weird. I was like, another thing is I taste like something like metallic. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, that's the blood draining through your brain. And I was like swallowing my own blood.
Oh my God, that's so hot.
I drank my own blood.
Oh my God.
Yeah, guys.
You ate yourself out on your period.
Picture it. Me sipping my own blood. So yeah, I had, I guess like a mind-blowing orgasm.
Do you remember how hard I laughed when you first told me this?
I honestly, can I tell you something weird? So many people I tell forget about it because I don't act like
a stroke victim.
I don't. Well, the thing
you don't
is,
drag your leg around.
Back. Well, the thing is, if it happened again, which it could, I don't
huff anymore.
I no longer huff.
What if you were a current huffer?
What if I started huffing more because of it? I'm like,
I
figured life is short.
You guys, we're gonna do a huffing.
We're gonna huff like the big bad wolf. I already have practice. I wear a jean jacket with a tail on it when I huff. But it was like it changed my life in a way that I was like, oh yeah, you can literally die any second. Dead. I know we all know that, but to actually be like, oh my God, like sometimes I remember it. And I don't tell a lot of people, which is why I did a show about it, because I wanted people to know.
That was her way of telling you nobody came to the show.
It was sold out.
No, she killed
all
it.
Performance.
Do it right now.
I have to tell people. It was sold out.
It started with Lyme.
But it did. It was caused by Lyme, which is like serious. And there's Justin Bieber just came out with it. Like he has it. Yeah. It's funny like how many, it's like a star-studded disease. Like has it. I saw her at my doctor's office.
Oh my God.
Actually, I think that's against HIPAA for me to say that.
Okay.
Is it?
Well, bleep it.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Bleep, bleep. But you're not the doctor.
And yeah, that's true. And but there are a lot, but she's open about it. So I think it's okay. And yeah, Amy Tan, who wrote Joy Luck Club, she had like this whole thing where she was having like I think like psychotic hallucinations and stuff like that. It does weird things. When I first got it, I was like, I didn't know where I was. I started knocking into microphones. Actually, feels
this vibrates.
right
Be careful. Lizzy almost squirted herself to
insane.
death.
But I still like lose feeling. Like sometimes I still lose feeling, even though it's like supposedly I'm like.
Is that from the
better,
stroke
like,
or from the Lyme?
From the Lyme? Because I had that from the beginning. Like one of my first things is I'd be like, oh my God, I can't feel my hands. Or it would feel like just a blank.
Always call me, by the way, if you ever need to go to the hospital, because you know I have
came
fun.
with me once.
Listen,
Annie
guys,
came to the ER with
I'm
me.
good in hospitals.
She came with me because I had shooting pains.
Do you remember when the guy was like, what did he say about pee? Oh, he was like, you gave him your pee or whatever. And I was like, do people make R. Kelly jokes a lot? And he goes, never. And I was like, oh. I was like, just assumed everyone did it.
So funny. Yeah, it's like, it's a hell. It's hell. Because you don't know what's wrong with you. They told me I had lupus. They told me I had fibromyalgia. They told me I had like a million things and they were wrong. It's like I could have just been like, oh, okay, I have lupus. Like I could have just accepted one of those things.
And do you feel like, wait, do you know when you got it or what?
Yeah. This is so crazy. So this is part of the reason why, because I just moved this weekend, why it was like such a big deal for me is because I got it in my apartment in Los Feliz. I remember like I was late for work and being like, oh, weird, I have this bite. It was like a circle. But I literally knew, why do I keep hitting this? I'm so nervous. It does make me like, oh. Yeah. Actually, this makes me less nervous to talk about than like sex stuff. When we talk about that stuff, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, it is weird to talk about.
Yeah.
It is weird to talk about sex stuff. Like I've been realizing it.
Yeah.
More and more. Like I just have no filter.
I love that. Like I so appreciate it. And when I'm with you, I'm like, oh, I cannot go Annie's level with that.
It's crazy. I mean, I was thinking about it with like I was with my family over the break. And I'm like thinking about my post, and I'm not like filthy on my post, but I'm sometimes I am. Like I just make dirty jokes or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, I go to my sister-in-law. I'm like, wait, do you just like turn on your like Instagram and it's like someone's like kid, their dog, their food, and that's like me in a sex cage? She's like, yes. She's like, you're just realizing this. I'm like, my twin brother just has to like be like, oh, there's my sister with red lipstick all over her face saying she ate a girl out on her period. Like, I mean, it's like for no reason.
Oh my God. What if you just suddenly decided you wanted to be a therapist and you had to erase all?
I don't think I could do it. That's what I was thinking. Like, I don't have another, like, I can't go back to teaching. They're like, you've said pussy juice so many times on YouTube. Like, you can't.
I can't go back to teaching.
I said pussy juice.
So funny.
I can be a teacher.
I was a teacher. I taught at a Catholic school. I was in charge of like the speech program, like competitive speech program.
What were you teaching them? Fucking Hebrew, you fucking Jew?
No.
What were you doing
at the? It was like forensics. You know, like it was like I was supposed to be the assistant. The woman who was in charge got pregnant, so they were like, "Do you want to be in charge of the program?" And I was like 21. I wore, not to be like, but I like, you know, I dressed like fishnet stockings, but over like a pencil skirt, like kind of like. Maybe not like rockabilly, but like kind of pin-uppy at the time. It was just not a good mix. Like,
and what
with
age
the Catholic
were the kids?
school, they were in high school.
Oh my God!
And so I was only like slightly older than them.
It's so when you think about the teachers fucking the students, and you think about the age difference, you're like, oh.
I had a student.
They're so hot.
I had a student.
I just stopped being attracted to them.
Confessed to me that he had a crush. Through some like a recording, he like recorded something. He's like, "Can I play you something I wrote last night?" I was like, "Sure." I thought it was gonna be like a speech. I go, "Do you want to just do it?" And he's like, "I'd rather just have you listen to it on here." I was like, "Okay." And it was like, "It's He kept going. It's 3 a.m. Thinking about my teacher Lizzy. I was like, "Okay, turn it off."
Was he
turn
hot?
it off. Was he hot?
Tell me the truth.
No, he wasn't.
If he had been hot, it would have been a different fucking story.
These
it would have been.
So
let's just say she would have had that stroke a little early.
Stroking.
That's so funny. You stroked me out. This kid stroked me. How embarrassing! You get fucking arrested too. Right. You're having a stroke. They're arresting you.
It doesn't happen, but I will say, I was like, "What am I?" I asked, like, "Can I ever have an orgasm?" Like I didn't know.
With the students?
Well, no. When I had the stroke, I asked the doctor because I was like, "Well, if this happened," and he goes, "I wouldn't," and I was like, "Well, I would." So,
well, I'm a feminist. Okay, I'm sex positive, and I'm a feminist, and I'm gonna fuck myself to death. Okay, sir.
No, I had like
doctor's orders. Get your fingers out of yourself, you slut. You floozy.
I had a neighbor over and he walked me through it.
You do kind of now. You have to have supervised masturbation.
You
People have to watch you.
I need a helper. I need a helper. I need a helper.
Oh my God. I'm starting to hate masturbating again. I'm going to have to take a break again. I go too hard.
Really?
It stops being good.
Oh. Maybe like take breaks.
I do. I have to go no nut again.
Right.
No
I
nut.
just like, yeah.
No nut. I'm not
Mine
dating.
is like triggered by like, if I have a crush on someone, if I see their name or like anything, I'm like, oh my God, I have to get out of my system.
Yeah.
Mine's always like, I have to get it. Mine's not like, oh, I can't wait to do this. Mine is, I've got to get this out of my system.
Mine's like, I have something very important to do that will help my life and career. Better masturbate for 7 hours till I'm so fucking thirsty. My fingers are pruned. I can't fucking do anything. It's like a lint roller by the end. I'm like, all right.
Fingers are
get
pruned.
this fucking cat hair off of this. Anyway, we have to go.
No.
We have to go.
I
Has it been
haven't
an
told
hour?
you about the time I fell off a ladder.
Oh, we have 10 minutes left.
We have 10 minutes left. I mean,
Anthony has a heart out.
no, why?
No, he has to go visit his fucking dad.
Do
in
we
prison
use this?
tomorrow.
Annie, it looks amazing.
Do you guys like my jeans? Oh no, my tits made it to Reddit, you guys. There's a gif of them now.
Are you serious?
Well, someone was asking me last night. Well,
Wait, the
Anthony
real
fucked
ones?
up.
The
Yeah,
screenshot.
Anthony fucked up. And he showed my tits. We go over this every episode. Someone asked me last night on a live feed. They were like, how do you feel about it? Like, I mean, it didn't go viral. Let's be real. Let's relax.
Right.
We know where I'm at in my career by how many people have seen my tits. Not that many. But I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. It makes me feel weird. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable, right? Because it's not like I don't have control over it or anything. But I will say this. I got my nipples pierced when I was 14. I showed everyone. I got in trouble when I was 16. Yeah, they took the gun, the ear gun. And no, South Street Tattoo. Sue, you fucking weirdo. This lady was like this big fat woman. And she was like, did not care that we were children. She pierced her nipples. She dropped the needle and went, ooh, Butterfingers. Then she had like a tattoo and it was like her kid's drawing. She's like, oh, I let my kids do this on my leg. I'm like, how old are they? She's like, 4. I'm like, I don't think you should give them a tattoo gun. Weirdo. But anyway, she was lovely.
Have you ever had a kid draw you?
No, that sounds.
It was. I had a kid
niece,
draw me, and he goes, "You have blah blah blah." He goes, "You have fat legs." I was like, and at the time, I was like half deep. It was like and I was like, "Oh my God."
I had a guy,
and they were like, "That's not nice," and I'm like, "No, it really like."
It's so flattering to be drawn. I had a guy. Listen, I was at the airport once, and this guy was drawing me, and I was like, I couldn't have been more flattered. Like I was like, oh my God, like. That's so sweet. And I was like trying to not like blow up his spot because I didn't want to like embarrass him or anything. But then I got like, he kind of put the pencil down. I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a look before he puts it away. And so I like walked over and he was literally drawing the pillar behind me. He was drawing literally a pillar. A pillar.
Wait, can I tell you something?
It wasn't me.
Annie,
I spent literally half an hour being the most flattered. I was like, I am so beautiful.
I have to show you something.
I'm so beautiful. People love me.
Annie, okay, so sometimes you do a show and they're like, oh, we're going to like, they draw you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You'll never be able to see this, right? Oh, wait, no.
No, we can post it up.
Okay. Okay. Someone drew a picture of me and I was like,
I literally thought that was a picture.
It was a promo for, shut up. A promo for a show. I don't know if you can
We'll send
see
it
this.
to Anthony and he can post it.
Okay, wait. Like this.
Anthony
okay, but that said, the girl who did this was so nice because I go, who drew the thing? She was like, I did. And I was like, oh, I can't be like,
you're like, who's this piece of shit?
Please tell them. And I was like, okay, I can see it like slightly resembles me, but it's so unflattering. It's like Skeletor with a top bun.
Listen.
But Brendan Walsh and I went around Gelson's asking people if it looked like me. And he taped me. I go, I just have a question. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Because I ran into him. I'm like, does this look like me? And he was like, oh my God. And some people are like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, I guess like it's
It's
not
weird,
how I want to
like-
be seen. It was a truth mirror.
Well, she's obviously like traced a picture or something with a pen that's too thick. So she just like went
It
like
looked
this. Yeah, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who takes the worst pictures of me. She's always like, you look so pretty. And she'll like take a picture. I'm like, do you hate me? Like, it's always like the worst lighting. I'm like, I look like wrinkly. And
do you realize guys do that too? Anytime a boyfriend has ever taken a picture of me, I'm like, that is the worst
but then I don't
photo.
know. I have to tell her. And she's like, you're probably not good. And then she gets like a little bit butthurt about it. But I'm like, you're not good at this. This is not your skill set. And you need to stop taking pictures of me. Even when I'm like, I pose the picture, like, I'll be like, hey, there's like, I want to do this post or whatever. I'm like, will you take this picture? And I'm like, how the fuck did you find the lighting to be so, I'll set it up and there's something she can't do it. She cannot fucking do it. But it's fine. You can't even fucking auto-tune or face-tune it out of the
oh my God.
Auto-tune. It is, face-tune is an auto-tune.
I just found a stack of drawings. It was like old drawings I drew. So many male nudes. It would be like a boyfriend of mine just like... Like I made so many boyfriends pose for me.
I used to make them kiss each other. I used to make them kiss boys. It's not the same, but
really,
I thought it was like this power move in college. I would always be like, "You make out." I always had this gay friend around. I'd be like, "Make out with Noah."
Oh my God, oh my God.
And then
did you draw any guys?
I do draw, but I never. No, I never
major?
drew. No, I was like scared of penises. That's why I put them inside myself so fast. I was like, "Get them in me. I don't want to look at them." Draw them. Do you want to go to figure drawing ever?
Did I what?
Do you want to go to figure drawing with me sometime?
Yes.
It's really 100%. Fun. They have it in Los Feliz.
Okay. I want to go.
It's really fun. They have it on Monday nights and on Saturday mornings.
Yes. 100%.
It's very fun. I like drawing naked people. What I like about figure drawing is the model is always like overcoming something, and I like to find the thing they're overcoming. Like one model's like really pretty, but she has like square nipples. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like she's trying to like overcome the insecurity of her shitty square nipples.
That was I used to be one of those. I was a model.
What was it?
What?
Are your tits different sizes or something? What is it?
No, mine was, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm sure I'm not perfect. Guys, believe it or not, I'm not perfect.
Just ask that kid, fat legs.
Just ask the kid. Yes, fat legs. It's true. I'm a pear. Okay.
I like asking kids how
hourglass.
old.
Hourglass.
I love being like, how old am I?
And they're like 90.
They're like, or they think they're being like, you look like you're 20.
But can I tell you? So I went to one guy. I modeled for this guy in Boston. I would go to his house.
I modeled for my teacher in high school. But we don't talk about that anymore.
I'll skip that story. Nothing very weird happened, except I realized I was like, is he an art? Like it was just like kind of sketchy.
Wait.
But then. Sorry.
No, go.
Then I once did a full class where I was like,
spread eagle.
No, but so what happened was I was super hungover. I had started doing comedy. I went out. I did a show. I was so hungover. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I have to drive out to some fucking farmhouse. I was in Minnesota and modeled for this art class. I got there. I was standing up and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, hard. I can't do this. And all the artists were like, what? It was literally 2 minutes.
You should have just
laid
laid
like
down.
This. So eventually they said, do you want to sit? I sat. I couldn't sit either. And they go, do you want to lie down? I laid down. I passed out. I woke up. There's all these drawings being passed out like this.
You should get one of those. Do you have any of those?
No, it was so long
Post
ago.
that one too. I was doing a figure drawing class in Brooklyn when I used to live there. It was called Drink and Draw. It was after I quit drinking, so I didn't drink, but you would like pay $10 and they'd give you all you wanted to drink and whatever. My friend Tim Kent I met there, who's a really good artist. Tim Kent Studio. Follow him on Instagram. He's fucking amazing. But
seriously, guys, follow, rate, and review.
Do it. Rate, review, follow, subscribe. I gotta say subscribe in the beginning because you fuckers don't subscribe. By the way, nobody watched my solo one last week and it was really good. Is it because Anthony entitled it about periods?
Your solo one?
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. I talked about boundaries. People liked it that listened to it. But anyway.
How can you talk about something you know nothing about?
I've never had my period, you guys. I'm a young...
I meant boundaries.
Oh, I'm learning.
No, you're good. You're good.
No. I just am learning like this week. I'm learning like the past... I can't believe it. It's freedom. Boundaries are freedom.
They are. If you just have to tell people, I'm good.
You say no to me a lot.
I say no to almost everything.
It makes me come for you.
Oh my God, I love that.
I remember I told you this. There are times where I'm like, I crave you. I'm like, I have to. The only person I can talk to right now is Lizzy. I don't even have a thing to tell you. I'm just like, I've got to talk to her now.
I love that.
And then you're always like, I can't. I'm like, okay.
I can't.
I can't. I'm writing. I'm like, who does that? Who actually writes? I'm always like, I'm writing. Masturbating. I'm writing. I'm writing with my fingers and my pussy. What was I going to tell you? Oh, so I did the figure drawing class, the drink and draw, and we were all in there. And it was like a bunch of like white hipsters and these like 45-year-old like black men in their like church outfits. Like I swear to God, they were wearing like purple suits with like I mean, like they stood out. Okay, they come in and they just sit in the back, no pencils, no papers, just sit and stare at the model. It was the funny.
Really?
Yeah, and you kind of were like, well, why? And then they were like, can you like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're just artists. We're just here to watch. Like, you have to draw.
I'm here to observe.
I'm
auditing drink and draw.
You have to. The moral of the story is, guys, if you go to drink and draw, you have to. You can go check out naked ladies and you can be pervy about it, but you just have to like look like you're drawing.
Right.
It was so funny. It was just like all like 20-year-old hipsters and these like 45-year-old. It was beautiful.
My God.
It was a beautiful moment. I loved it. It was like going to the dog park without a dog.
If you haven't seen a naked person in a while, do you ever go a little bit without hooking up with anybody, or are you like pretty consistent?
I haven't hooked up with. I haven't had sex in a year.
Really?
Well, I hooked up with that New Zealand kid.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
He's so handsome.
I remember
How are you?
he was very muscular.
He was so hot.
Yeah, smooth.
Very hot.
Girlfriend. That sounds
He's
so gross. I'm like, he was smooth.
He found himself a girlfriend. Good boy.
Oh, good for him.
Well, how could he not? He was cute. He was the hottest.
Yeah, but you're hotter than him.
I'm hotter than him.
Too pure. Hot. He was too pure.
He was too young. I met this kid on the airplane today. This kid on the airplane today sitting next to me. I was like, how old are you? And he was like 28. And I was like, oh, hot. And I was like, oh, I want to go younger again. I was going older, but they have low T. Their dicks don't work. They have emotional problems.
Low T. No, younger guys
I'm
match
going younger.
Your libido probably.
I need to fuck.
But when you haven't had, there's actually a poem about this by this Jeffrey McDaniel, who's my favorite poem. But he's like, when you haven't been kissed in a long time, and he talks about like, just like how certain sensations
that I just got wet when you caressed my arm.
But like he says, like you put your mouth to a nappy, like certain things that just feel like your more senses sensual, are elevated. Yeah. But like imagine you haven't like seen a naked woman in so long, and then you're just like, oh my God, there's gonna be one at.
Listen, I take my eraser. I take my eraser
and like have the experience.
I take my eraser. Okay, I go over. I fucking spread that pussy. I fucking jam that fucking eraser in her pussy. No, I don't. Okay, I'm good. I sit and I draw with charcoal like a fucking real person.
When I haven't been like had contact in a long time. It's so gross. Did I tell you? I have a joke about this about how my therapist told me I wasn't getting oxytocin. She told me to go to an animal shelter. And like hold dogs and stuff. It was so gross. Anyway, but listen, one weird thing I realized about myself, if I go a while without like hooking up with someone, when someone hugs me, like I don't want it to end. I'm just like, it's so good to see you. Even if it's someone I don't know that well.
You're like bumping in.
It's
a
little too long. Forward. It's a little too long. My hugs are a little like, and they're like, oh wow, Lizzy really cares.
Are you
and I'm
sniffing
like, no,
me?
I'm just extremely lonely and horny.
Wait, do you sleep on one side of your bed? I realized I sleep on one side of my bed. I was like, that sounds like the loneliest.
And at the edge of the pillow.
Yes. What am I doing?
I know. You've got to spread out.
I got to spread them.
Spread it.
Listen, I'm going to start my mirror. Like I have a mirror closet and I want to like watch myself.
You've got to.
Like,
do you take pictures of yourself for like
posterity?
Everyone's like, women take pictures now.
I have literally the best nudes. Like I have such good nudes.
You asked to send me one once. And I was like, no.
She said I couldn't handle it.
I said I can't handle it.
I was like, I'm so juicy.
It was my boundary.
Listen, when I'm like getting my period, I'm like, I get like juicy. I'm like filled with blood. It's like so hot. And I'm all like, no. I'm like, no, it's so funny. It was great. No, I sent them to my mom. I posted it recently. I sent like my Funyun nipple rings to my mom.
Oh my God.
She just ignores it. She'll be like, stop. I'm like, fuck you. You made me. I was like, you made me weird. But I love my mom. My mom and I are in a good place. It's nice.
I love that.
I know. I've always been mad at my mom. You're always like, listen, I remember when you were like, it doesn't go away when they die.
No, it doesn't. I'm still mad at my mom. My mom's died and I'll be like, I can't fucking believe. And then I'm like, yeah, you can't say that to her because she's not here. Relationships never end. And I feel like in a weird way.
Well, because we don't really die. You just
that's
like fizzle
the afterlife.
Into like a... Oh yeah.
In a weird way, that's the afterlife.
The grudges that people want
to the anger that your children have to the resentments.
And it carries on through the bloodline because you put it onto your children.
Rage is hereditary a little bit, I think.
Well, my dad has
take
intermittent
care
rage
of it.
disorder,
Yeah.
and I think I have it too. But I've gotten really good. Like I got a little snappy with Anthony because he's Mexican, and I don't like that. I'm like, stop being Mexican. It's gross. But no, earlier I got like did you notice it?
To this, Anthony?
What?
Yeah, did you notice me being snappy earlier?
When I called you?
Yeah.
A tiny bit, but
But
I figured you're tired.
I know, but I pulled back
And
really
he's-
fast. I'm so sorry. You don't deserve my abuse. You're a
right.
lovely man.
It's all right.
It's not okay.
No, it's
I
really,
abused
it's not a big
Anthony.
deal.
You showed my
Anthony-
boobs though, so I think I can yell at you a little. But I never mean
Yeah,
it.
you get like a little bit.
I never mean I get as little as my tits are. It's so like
Annie, you don't have small boobs.
they're so cute. I don't care.
Yeah, they're
but
amazing.
listen, they're so cute.
Okay.
Blur that out. They did not look good. That was not a good angle. Anthony.
that out.
But anyway, no, I told Anthony like if they hadn't looked good, I would be in prison for killing him. Like if my tits had looked bad and they were on the internet, I would be so mad.
Right.
But they looked cute. But anyway, so someone was asking me that. So that's what I was saying. I was like, okay, got my nipples pierced, showed my tits to everyone then. Then I went to my brother's frat when I was 16 for parents' weekend, and I flashed my tits. I got blackout drunk, flashed my tits. There was a line of his friends, his frat brothers, to look at my tits. I humiliated my brother. Like, I don't know how he can love me still after that. Then I flashed.
You were acting out.
They called me Flashing Annie in college because there were a lot of Annies,
Yeah.
and I was the flasher. And then
I go, you were acting out. I'm such an asshole.
I just had
didn't
little
mean to say
boobs, so I
that.
didn't really think
I'm
it
like,
was.
you had a psychological problem.
Well, I mean, I was sexually
No,
young,
everyone
but,
does. I
also
it's
like
taken me forever to.
we used to flash people
Right.
in cars next to us, and then inevitably always a red light. And I'm like,
Right.
fuck. I flashed a chain gang in Santa Fe on my motor scooter, and then my motor scooter didn't start; it stalled, and I had to put my shirt back down and walk the scooter by them. When I got in my motor scooter accident, I got so much road rash on my
scooters?
tits that I was like, my line would be, I would like pull my tits out. I'd be like, do you want to put Neosporin on my titties? That was my line. I flashed an audience in Montreal, and one side of the audience saw it. Okay, didn't react. I moved to the other side. I go, I just flashed them my tits. Everyone erupted into laughter because there was no reaction. Nobody reacted. It was like dead silence. They blinked. I flashed my tits on stage.
What did you say before you flashed that?
Some girl flashed her. I was like, if you show your tits, I'll show mine. So she showed hers, so then I flashed. But hers were really big, and then mine were like, everyone was like, anyway, moving on. Do you have a joke, bitch? Try comedy. You should try comedy because we'll laugh at you, not with you. But anyway, so then, I mean, so in the end, I'm saying like, it's not like me showing people seeing my tits, but it's never been like in their hands. They've never had it, you know. It's like on
What
the
do you
internet.
mean? No. Oh, I see.
Do you know what I mean? Like so,
they
it's like a
didn't
little
leak it.
weird. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a little weird, but it's fine.
Have you ever tried to have something leak?
I practice the face, like the pretend disappointment, because I look great. Like, so every picture that I take, it's up to leak standard.
Right.
I've never
It's
like,
up to leak.
I would never send a
That is
picture.
So funny.
Like it looks good. I
Okay,
look
my
the best
old
I've ever looked.
apartment has like had a big like chip of paint missing. And I took all these pictures, and then I was like, oh, it just looks sad because it's like I'm posing in this like
You're like, help.
dilapidated.
I need
like,
help.
I'm
Someone
like,
pay
"Please
for my
help.
paint to be
Please help
fixed.
me."
This is where the bug came and bit me. This is where I got limes.
It's lime. It's not lime.
But no, you have it really bad, so we call it limes.
Oh my god.
No, I know. I'm sorry. That's a pet peeve of her.
I'm a limey.
Pet
It's like
peeve.
a thing.
Yeah, I'm a lime. Yeah, you should have an eye patch if you have Lyme disease. I have a lot of really good nudes in my phone. Like really.
I'm sorry I didn't accept it.
It's
You were
okay.
like, oh no, I found someone else. I was like, I don't know if I can.
Do you know who I
handle
sent
right
it to?
now. I don't know
I
why.
sent it to
I
Joe
just, like,
DeRosa. I sent a picture
Oh,
to Joe
yeah, you
DeRosa.
told me that.
He
You
was
told
like,
me
I'm
that.
always here for you, bud. Anytime you need me.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'll send you one.
I needed like male attention for how hot I looked. I was
I'll
like,
send you one.
send me a nude.
I'm too shy.
I'm
too shy. I didn't send it. Honestly, like someone was sending me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, I didn't know what to. I was just like,
Well, it's weird because the
I've
New
been-
Zealand guy, like, he sends me pics,
Right.
and I'm like, well, he doesn't now, but he was sending me pics, and then I would be like, do you want a picture of me? And he'd be like, sure. I'm like, wait, do you not?
Right.
Like, it was so off. I'm
this
like,
guy
I'm
was
the
like,
girl.
why aren't you sending me anything? And I was like, because I secretly think I could become Oprah. Like, that's honestly like the truth is like part of me wants to be like help people and
Yeah.
Like I just like don't want any
Those titties
like
will help. I've seen them.
horrible like.
I've seen your tits. Those titties will help a lot of people.
Oh, that's right. In the
They could
dressing
feed a
room.
village. They could feed a village. They're very impressive. But I just
so
think
nice.
like I don't have any friends with bad tits.
That's
I've not
so
one.
funny.
I have not
What about
one
that?
friend.
You know, when people go, look to your left, look to your right. Every like, I feel like every comedian in the mid '90s had a joke where they're like, everyone has a stupid friend. Look to your left, look to your right. If it's not either of them, it's you.
I thought you were talking about.
Do you know what I'm
tits
talking
that
about?
were
Though?
like googly eyed tits.
Do you know what I'm talking about
Yes.
though? That set up
Yeah,
for a joke.
I don't have a creepy uncle. Oh wait, I'm the
I'm
creepy
the-
uncle.
If you don't know
Yeah.
one, it's you.
Yeah.
That's like such a mid '90s.
No, my tits have been confirmed cute.
If it's not, it's you.
Confirmed cute.
Wait, I can't handle
But I took
remembering
these
that. I
fucking
can't
nudes.
handle.
I started feeling myself so much, and I was like, and I have that mirror closet. It's like so good. It's like something
Right.
about the carpeting where you can tell
Right.
I'm not doing great. You're like, you can tell it's like my first
Right.
time not having a roommate, you know. And I'm like,
Let me ask you something, because I have to get a bed frame. Would you ever get a pink bed frame?
yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Listen,
I'm not driving.
you're gonna fuck yourself to death on it, so it may as well make it look cute.
I'm so.
All right, guys,
I don't know.
that's
where it's coming
Meanspiration.
from. That's Meanspiration.
Watch me on Lights Out with David
Yes.
Spade yesterday, and on February 6th. Lizzy Cooperman was on. When were you on?
I was on the 16th. It was
On the
so
16th.
fun.
Go back. I know you guys
Check it
DVR
out.
it.
That's
Check it
right.
out. Lizzy was gonna do my tarot cards, but we're too cool
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We're too
Another
cool for
time.
that. And Lizzy,
You're like, there won't be another time.
Lizzy,
I go,
you'll
we'll
never-
do that in part 2. And
Lizzy
it's
will
like,
never be
there's
friends again.
no
I just remembered about your stroke. That's so disgusting. I do not hang out with stroke victims.
Strokey dokey.
Strokey dokey. Will not be seeing her again. We're gonna strokey dokey this one into the archives. No, you were lovely. Do you have anything? What your handle?
I've got nothing. This is all I have booked till the end of the year.
You can see us at the lab at the.
I'm at the Hollywood Improv tomorrow night.
It won't be aired. So
It won't be aired. Oh yeah, this won't be aired. Friday, I'm in Claremont.
Oh my God,
with
at
Neil
Flappers?
Hamburger.
I love Neil.
He's amazing. I'm
I
there
mean,
with Neil
not Neil.
Hamburger,
That's
and
good.
yeah, I mean
Greg.
that's all that's on my mind.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
Tell him I said hi.
I will.
We had a really epic hang once. At
I
a
love
festival.
it. Yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, he's a special guy.
Yes, agreed.
All right, guys. Follow Meanspiration Pod on Instagram. I'm going to get better at posting on there some special things. Also, we'll be posting a picture of that pickle jar.
Oh yeah, the SCOBY pickle jar. We've got to find that.
I'll find it. It's somewhere. Okay. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the iTunes. Leave some reviews, motherfuckers.
to.
All right. Good ones. 5-star me. Let's blow this up, all right?
Yes, blow it up.
Anthony's dad's in prison. He needs bail. We got to make some money. Okay. We got to make money. I'm not selling pictures of my feet.
That's right.
All right. And fuck you.